This episode of Rugged Expeditions, we're chasing ducks in the rainy, wet, and cold of Western Washington with great gear and camo patterns that are tested to the limits. Brought to you by Kryptek, the only battlefield to backcountry camo in the world. Coming along to show us how it's done is a guy who knows a thing or two about hunting, harsh weather, and camouflage, Kryptek's Josh Cleghorn. Josh served our country with distinction during the Iraq War and the ongoing battles in Afghanistan. When he and his future business partner, Butch Whiting, retired from military service, they brought with them an intimate knowledge of what camouflage works on the battlefield and what doesn't. They formed a business together and began the leading outdoor clothing and gear company on the market today, Kryptek. With their award-winning proprietary camo patterns and top-notch fabrics, they are producing gear for the outdoorsman that's second to none. Lucky me, woohoo! We're testing Kryptek out on a duck hunt in one of my favorite honey holes for mallards. Now, it's a secret spot, so don't ask me where it is. It's a secret. For me, one of the best things about hunting ducks is getting to work with man's best friend. You know, a dog is the only thing on earth that loves you more than it loves itself. There are lots of different ways to hunt ducks. You got hiding in the bushes, old schooling it, or layout blinds, or boats, or in permanent blinds in flooded cropland. Even though I'd seen ducks work in the area the day before, you just never know if they're coming back today. Weather, hunting pressure, Mother Nature, all play a role in duck hunting. All you can do is put the decoys out in a pattern that's worked before and cross your fingers. First afternoon found us in the back 40 where I'd seen some birds working the day before. Figured, hey, let's give it a try.
Sometimes I think you just gotta have a little bit of movement in the decoys. I like these little pull string gizmos that keeps them moving around. Because when they're working up high, especially, sometimes they just need that little bit of extra confidence to see those decoys moving around. It gives them a warm and fuzzy feeling that coming into Chateau Kryptek will be okay.
Take 'em. Got in some action, but it really wasn't the slam bam, thank you ma'am, we had been hoping for. As the great optimist always says, there's always tomorrow.
Good boy, fetch it up. Good boy, good boy.
It was nice, we whacked some ducks right before this rain got going, which was cool. They were cooperating pretty good, but our issue today was that they were going into other areas and rafting up on the other side of the trees, which makes it difficult because you're competing with live decoys. Wasn't too bad considering. But now that this wind has picked up and this weather's getting nasty, tomorrow could be epic. Epic, yes. You gotta get up early, get out there in the dark so you can get a head start before the ducks hopefully show up at daylight. That's a boy. Come on. Yep, that's a boy. You know, some people might think that this is a lot of work just to shoot ducks, but I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing. How about you, Josh?
Nope, not at all.
I mean, if you're not shooting big game, you might as well shoot ducks. That's what I always say. This is what I actually grew up doing.
Me too.
Before I got into big game, it was a great training ground, isn't it?
Yep.
I think that duck hunting teaches you a lot about, obviously, camouflage and holding still and building blinds. And I think it's kind of in a way like guys that like turkey hunting and calling elk and all that. There's something about outwitting them. So here we can't use any electronic decoys, but we can use pull toys. So we hook them all up, give them a couple jerks, gives us a little motion in the ocean, in this case in the swamp. Well, that was perfect timing. Here comes the rain again. Need that rain to get with it, and that wind. It's duck killing time. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Take him. Good boy. Get him. Fetch him up. Take him. Good boy, Duke. Come on, bring him here. Good boy. Thank you. Duke's earning his groceries today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's about the 9 o'clock lull right now. Sky's breaking a little bit, the wind's calming down, but we're still getting a few consistent ones coming in, so we'll see.
Unlike sitting in the solitude of a deer stand, when you're duck hunting and the birds aren't flying, it's a great time to catch up with your buddy on what's happening in their world.
So Josh, what's the story on this camo pattern? I mean, you guys came up with this. It's so unique and so much different than anything else that's out there in the market.
So the concept behind Kryptek spawned from wanting to make a camouflage pattern that wasn't sticks and leaves and wasn't digital. And the inspiration behind it came from tank netting. It's been used since World War II. It's the most passive concealment system that's ever been used on the battlefield, because you can put it over a tank, over aircraft, over a hide site, over anything, and it gives dimension. It breaks up silhouettes. So we wanted to use that concept and put it on a one-dimensional surface, i.e. fabric. So we started playing around with shapes and hard lines, soft lines, micro patterns, macro patterns, and it was really trial and error. For 150 revisions later, we had a workable solution.
Yeah, I know what you mean about the patterns, because a lot of people that watch the show know that I'm not a big camo guy, because my problem has been in the past, until we found Kryptek, that we couldn't get patterns that worked in so many different places. You know, it's this for that, this for this, and then you get there and it's really not right. But that's what I like about the Highlander is, you know, it's a nice pattern that fits just about anywhere.
way. Get him. Fetch him up. Fetch him up. Kill him, kill him, kill him. Kill it. Kill it, kill it, kill it.
Another benefit of duck hunting with a buddy or two is that if you're not a super shot, you can always claim you hit the bird, right? I mean, whether or not you did. I mean, what are friends for?
Not a bad day, huh?
No, it's been good.
Thanks for coming. This was fun.
Thanks for the invite. It's been amazing.
Sure been a nice place, huh?
It's gorgeous.
Whether you're in the mountains, in the swamps, or in the desert, or even whacking quackers, at the end of the day, getting into the great outdoors to hunt with a good friend, especially one of our country's heroes, is what it's all about. This is a big shout out thanks to all of our military heroes for everything that they do and giving us the ability to get out and do what we do because of their sacrifices.